You lowball yourself during your application process, then find out you got a phone screen, and before they call you, you know you deserve more, but you don't want to lose this opportunity? Keep your chin up. I can fix that. Hi, my name is Beverly. I'm a chief operating officer who's been scaling operations for over a decade in a ton of different fields. And this is how to play the corporate game, because you can't play the game if you don't know the rules, specific to phone screens after you've lowballed yourself and how to advocate. Here's one major tip that you have got to do. Go back and accurately calculate your base and your floor before that phone screen. I have a tutorial on my page where I am wearing a red sweatshirt, which will teach you how to do that. It has 6 flags on the front. Go and recalculate it. Recruiters understand what the market is, and they also understand that people don't understand what the market is or how to advocate for themselves, because so very few people do. And so before you have that phone screen, go back to that video I made where I'm wearing the red 6 flag sweatshirt, please, and accurately tabulate your base and your floor. The base is what you need in order to live and survive. The floor is including your lifestyle expenses, which is often a bit more flexible. The reason this is so important is because when it comes time for that phone screen and you are about to advocate for yourself but don't want to lose this opportunity, you are coming from a place of informed and accurately tabulated results that make sense for the market regardless of what you submitted on that application. Because I cannot tell you how many times I've had a phone screen with a candidate and I have said, based off of the application, it looks like you put insert number here. Is that still an accurate representation of what we're looking at? And so many times I have had a candidate go, yeah. And I get it. You don't want to lose the opportunity. So in those moments, what I do is I will say, well, is there a preferred floor you have? But understand, many leaders are just fine with you lowballing yourself. But if you advocate for yourself from an informed place, you will stand out. Because when they ask you, is this still the appropriate range as submitted in the application, you'll say, actually, I wanted to chat through that. I did an analysis of the market and just took another look at the expectations. And I did want to clarify that what I submitted is my base, but my floor is looking a little bit closer to this. Are we able to get anywhere in between those numbers? You're not making up a number. You're not coming off as unconfident. You're standing on business. Yeah, I submitted that. However, upon further review, that's actually like my living expense, like to survive and eat. But this is what we're playing with big time. Can we get anywhere in between here? And you might be surprised because so few people negotiate, y'all, like so few people negotiate. A lot of the time they will say, you know what? Yeah, we can work with that. Actually, that's within range. And now no matter what, you're still in the ring because you gave them a number that, yeah, it's not great, but it's your base. And you also gave them your floor. And when it comes time for the offer, it may look like a little sum in the middle, which is a lot better than what you started with. Now, if they don't budge, because a lot of folks are saying out here in these streets that people are like, it's fixed. Well, then that's what we call a transition job. And then we immediately keep applying so that you can go somewhere where you're going to get the pay you freaking deserve.
Did you make it to the end of the week and want to quit your job? Great, because I'm going to teach you how to do that politically, because you can't play the game if you don't know the rules. Hi, my name is Beverly. I'm a chief operating officer and CEO who's been scaling operations for over a decade in a ton of fields. And this is how to play the corporate game, where we're going to talk about how to actually quit your job, starting with why you're quitting. Because here's the thing that's really important. The reason why you're quitting is going to determine how you're going to move as you quit. Because people pay attention, they're perceptive, and leaders also have a history of retaliating when they feel like you're about to scurry away, okay? And how many people have realized, oh, I'm not getting what I need here, or the environment isn't great, or the leader I have isn't great, and the moment you make that decision and you start checking out, suddenly they are very attuned to your performance. So we're gonna get ahead of that, okay? For example, if you are leaving the company because of a poor team environment, that is going to frame A, how you search, B, how you interact as you are searching, and C, ensure that you are staying consistent in your motif as you're talking to other organizations about why you left. Because a consistent question I get often from folks is, how do I communicate that I left because of X? Or how do I communicate that I left because of Y? And this is gonna help help you because you're starting that thought process at the beginning of your journey. For the purposes of this video, we're going to keep it to team environment, but I can do others if you want. Comment below if you want other examples. If your team environment is poor, I want you to log down actively, like in a notebook or in your phone, what are the things about your team environment that you do not like? Because often when we are in that state of like, I got to get out of here, we're not thinking live about the things that we want to make sure we see in that next location. And nothing is too small. It could be as, I don't believe that there's clear metrics or strategy for the organization, or people are petty and they don't treat me well here, but how, why, what are those specifics? Then as you apply, I want you to be the star of the damn show. This does not mean I want you to start acting outside of your character, outside of how you normally do, because they will sniff out and know something's up. If you weren't going to happy hours before, I want you to go to one. If you weren't attending the ERG groups or whatever auxiliary professional development groups they have, I want you to pick one and I want you to start going. If culturally you have historically kept your camera off and everyone else has kept their camera on, I want you to start turning your camera on. The moment you are about to leave an organization is the moment that you are crafting the narrative of how you left. So if you left because of a poor team environment and you start shrinking back, you start being reclusive, you're not being as collaborative because you're upset and you're hurt about your environment. The last thing you want is for there to be any communication as people are networking or this or that, or, oh, what's it like to work with such and such? And because you're unhappy because of the toxicity of the environment, people have things to say about you. So find those things that you can align with and actively be applying and start formulating what your messaging is going to be when you're asked about why you're leaving. So remember, you've been jotting down in your notes the things about your environment that you do not like. That is going to be the data you're going to use to be able to answer the why are you transitioning from your current opportunity question when you're interviewing. And because it's data driven instead of emotionally led, you are coming across as somebody who is prepared and thinking about alignment as opposed to begrudging and leaving another organization because you didn't like the vibe. And unfortunately, for folks who have had this experience, hiring managers can sense that on you. And if you're modeling what you want to see from your environment, that can't be utilized as ammunition if folks back channel or they're networking and they ask about you. Then what I want you to do is in the interview process, I want you to formulate questions relating to team culture, team environment that are specifically related to what you have observed at work. Because now you're able to assess based off of their responses whether or not they have the same issues. People need to give themselves more credit. You can pick up when, there might be some similarities, okay? And because you're currently sitting at your job, you have the flexibility of being choosy because you don't want to find yourself falling into the same situation again. Once you get that offer and you found that company that is better aligned, I want you then to jot down a template. You can use an AI tool to support you. And in this templated email notifying your leaders that you are transitioning, I want it to be real clear and concise that you are not leaving because of culture. Because here's where I see a lot of folks get this wrong. Do not show your hand. If you come across as, again, begrudging or petty or like, I can't take it anymore, you guys suck, or whatever the case, you've now exposed yourself because you gave them a 2-week notice, right? Frame that from a lens of